Hey everyone, welcome back to Bodybuilding Nation. Today we're diving into some important updates about several top competitors in the bodybuilding world. Let's jump right in. Chris Bumstead's recovery journey, six-time classic physique Olympia champion. Chris Bumstead is currently facing significant challenges. For approximately 3 months now, he's been unable to train his upper body due to injuries, and the muscle atrophy is becoming noticeable even through his clothing. Similar to Michael Crezo after his shoulder surgery, Chris is having to start from scratch during his rehabilitation process. For those who might not be aware, Chris is dealing with 3 distinct tears in his shoulder, which initially caused him problems. This injury couldn't have come at a worse time, as he had just reached the peak of his physique at his last competition, Pro Gen, before entering this recovery phase. Just as he was prepared to intensify his training regimen, this major setback occurred. Beyond his shoulder issues, Chris is also battling intestinal health problems similar to Rafael Brandao, who's likewise undergoing a detox program to improve his gut health. Chris has had to dramatically alter his diet, eliminating many staple foods from his nutrition plan. In his own words, "I need to eliminate processed foods, sugar, grains, oats, eggs, gluten, and dairy from my diet. I don't consume much dairy anyway, but I'm gradually phasing these foods out. I'm not aiming for perfection immediately, but I'm working toward it." He recently shared an unusual video documenting a 70-hour fast, possibly for medical testing purposes. While his shoulder will eventually heal, this must be incredibly difficult for someone who built such a successful career on consistent gym performance and exceptional work ethic. Many regular gym goers can relate to how devastating it feels when you're unable to train. It seems Sebastian Falk's retirement was perfectly timed. He departed undefeated as champion, potentially avoiding similar health consequences had he pushed for a 7th Classic Physique Olympia title. Bumstead elevated the Classic Physique division to such extraordinary standards that filling his shoes will be tremendously challenging for competitors. We wish him a swift and complete recovery. Next, let's discuss Jack Eagles, who displayed some of the most impressive aesthetics in the Classic Physique division this year. Although his first show didn't meet the considerable hype and expectations surrounding him, he made remarkable improvements at the recent Detroit Pro last weekend, securing a top 5 finish in a highly competitive lineup. Jack was scheduled to compete at FIBO Germany next weekend, but he's now dealing with a hip injury that's preventing him from training his legs. There's little point in continuing to diet for another week when he knows he can't bring his best package to the stage. His showing at the Detroit Pro was especially impressive, considering he's only 22 years old. The injury at such a young age is concerning, and we hope he recovers fully because his future in bodybuilding looks promising. For those unaware, Jack still has approximately 15 pounds of potential muscle he can add before reaching the classic physique weight cap. Most would agree that Jack embodies the classic aesthetic in every aspect, including his posing and stage presentation, which were outstanding in Detroit. It's only a matter of time before he develops the necessary density and muscle maturity that comes with experience. This young competitor will undoubtedly become a formidable force in the coming years. Moving on to John Jewett, who consistently ranks among the best when it comes to adding quality muscle mass. His transition from the 212 division to men's open has been nothing short of remarkable, and he continues to surprise everyone by reaching new personal weight records in his off-season while maintaining exceptional conditioning. It was around late 2023 when John decided to enter his first Open Pro show, which I believe was the Legion Sports Fest. In just about a year and a half, John has transformed into a completely different bodybuilder. Credit should also be given to Kamal El Gagni and Derek Lunsford for paving the way for many 2-1-2 competitors to successfully transition to the open division. In John's case, this move was likely necessary as his current open physique, especially what we witnessed at his Olympia debut last year, was significantly more impressive than his 212 Olympia package. His personal expectation for last year's Olympia was to place between 11th and 14th. But he exceeded those projections, particularly during prejudging where he was outscoring Brendan Curry. This season, John is coming in considerably larger and denser. One aspect that will likely remain consistent is his ability to arrive on stage extremely dry and shredded. These might be the final weeks of his growth phase before he begins his competition prep and works towards securing his Olympia qualification for this year. Sergio Oliva Jr.'s pre-contest challenges. Next update comes from Sergio Oliva Jr., who recently appeared on the Menace podcast. He mentioned facing mobility issues with his chest, which is concerning when you're only weeks away from competition. It's unusual to highlight such problems publicly before a show, as now all eyes will be on his chest and back, which are considered his main weaknesses for the upcoming FIBO Germany competition this weekend. This revelation suggests Sergio won't be bringing his all-time best package to the stage. However, he did mention that his legs will be the largest they've ever been, which is evident from the progress updates we've seen throughout his preparation. Sergio's strategy is clear: win FIBO Germany to qualify for the Olympia, then take the remainder of the year off to focus on developing his lagging body parts for the Olympia. In his own words, "I'm at about 65% of my potential right now. I was extremely lean in November and only recently got back on track now that I'm healthy. Once I secure this qualification, staying on my current path without gaining additional muscle won't help me at the Olympia. With my current back development, I won't be competitive, and I can't execute a proper side chest pose against anyone in the Olympia top 10. Fortunately, my leg development is good, which will help compensate. Sergio will need to bring his absolute best to win at FIBO Germany, as competitors like Samson Dowda and James Hollingshead both have excellent chest development. Before critics suggest these are merely excuses, it's important to note that Sergio suffered an injury last year that prevented him from training for several months, leading to significant muscle atrophy, particularly in his back. This will be his first competition appearance since the California Pro in 2023, making it an intriguing return to watch. However, being so candid about his weaknesses just a week before competing seems strategically questionable. Regan Grimes' competitive return. Regan Grimes might be misleading fans with his recent most muscular pose post, as it's almost certainly not a current photo. This is actually reassuring because there's no way he could be stage-ready looking like that just 6 weeks out from competition, considering conditioning has been his biggest challenge throughout his professional career. If I'm not mistaken, this picture was likely taken around the same time as a video he posted on his Instagram story approximately 2.5 weeks ago. During contest preparation, physiques can change dramatically in short periods, and 2.5 weeks represents significant potential progress. Regan isn't competing at the upcoming Pittsburgh Pro, instead focusing on the New York Pro. Let's be realistic though, Gary Bedford entering this year's Pittsburgh Pro has significantly increased the difficulty level for many competitors. A bodybuilder like Regan will face immense pressure to earn his Olympia qualification, and if he doesn't win in New York, we can expect to see strong competition at both the California Pro and Legion Sports Fest as well, with all these shows occurring approximately 1 week apart. Regan is also returning to the stage after more than a year's absence, with his last appearance being the 212th Olympia, where he achieved his career best top 9 world ranking. However, this will be a different competitive landscape. It marks his first show with Stefan as his coach, and the positive news is that he's consuming nearly twice the amount of food and calories compared to what he was eating 5 to 6 weeks out from competition a few years ago under his former coach Milos Sarcev. We'll have to wait and see how his final package looks when he steps on stage. That wraps up today's bodybuilding updates. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to Bodybuilding Nation for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.